I'm gonna call this the post-tree cutting video tour. Oh, and the wind started up just right as I pressed record. Let me go over here by my green beans, my turnip greens. Let me look straight up over this wire and see that big limb that hangs over the wire. Sure, it's like, you know, I'll have to back up to give you an exact distance, a couple or 3 feet above the wire, hanging out over above the wire. That tree limb blows, but guess what? So does this one. Let me come on down here. I'm pointing back down there towards the house with the famous burnout cable box that was caught on fire. That would be 756 North Mcneil, I believe. Over there is the corner of Jackson and Stonewall. Here's that tree that I brought up in my previous video, that when the wind blows, it shakes and rattles and rolls. I don't know electricity like an electrical engineer does, but I do know that this tree right here, with a giant limb hanging over my wires, I'll back up, let's see how far away it is. Yeah, well, no, yeah, it's closer to 3 foot that's hanging up over there. But that's not really the real problem. Over here is the problem. I'll start off with the transformer pole in the northwest corner of my yard, which has 2 drop lines. One goes to 760 North Mcneil. That's where my neighbor moved out. He was gone by 9 o'clock on June 6th because his panel caught on fire in the inside of his house, or so he told me. I don't really know what kind of damages they had or whether or not they had a claim. This one I think is 764, maybe 762, but I'm going to get closer so I can show you the limbs that I tried to explain to the 3 guys that were out here with a thing. Hey, see that big tree limb that hangs over that wire right there? Guess what? When the wind blows, it just slaps and slaps and slaps the shit out of that wire and this wire from the next door neighbor, and right up here. Supposedly there's a line crew. They didn't come out last night, and I don't have any problems with that. But when they come out, maybe they could take that one drop line and put it somewhere else or something, because the 2 of them rub together or something. I don't know what causes my wires to turn green. You can really see them late at night. That's why old Bubba, man, he was going like, man, your stuff is messed up. And I'm going like, yeah, it has been since June. And guess what? They just cut my limbs a couple or 3 months ago. Not even 3 months ago. I'm frustrated. I'm tired. And I just want to be treated like you know, like I lived in East Memphis or something. I don't know. But that crew you got doing stuff, I mean, I appreciate the 3 guys that were here. I don't blame them for coming to this country. I don't know if they're legal workers or not legal workers. It makes no difference to me whatsoever. But the people you got contracted to cut your trees, they're out of state, they're worthless, and they hire the cheapest labor that they can. And how I wish, I don't know, I'd like to talk to you, talk about what does their contract even look like. When I was at my hearing on September 30th, the guy who was the vice president in charge of whatever, I think his name was Nick, he sat at the head of the table. There was a bunch of people in there. But anyway, he was busy telling me about how, oh yeah, they cut it back 10 feet. Well, if you can't get out of the office today, send Nick down here. Here is what is the result of the tree trimming crew that you sent out here. And if it was my money, and let me tell you what, I'm disabled, It cost me a lot of money to fix my stuff already. And it could happen again if the wind blows again later today. And I don't know how I'm going to pay for it a second time, because I'm not sure if y'all are going to pay for it the first time. But that's beside the point. I don't want my house to burn down. I don't have contents insurance, you know. It's just pitiful. But my point was, yeah, if you can't get out of the office, send old Nick down here. Tell me if this is the way he would like to see his mother treated, or his daddy or cousin or uncle. It doesn't matter to me. I've done a great job of trimming the trees that I'm quote unquote responsible for, but I don't even know if that's the truth. I don't know what is the truth, what is not the truth, other than the truth is I have dangerous power. Thank you. And I'm sorry. I'm starting to get all tense and stuff again. When old Bubba came by last night, I felt like there was a huge weight lifted off my shoulder, and I was going like, hey Mark, God is blessing you for being an asshole and calling anybody and everybody you can and saying, hey, please, please help me. But the job they just did, unacceptable.